4 years ago, Aragon was the site of a career-defining duel, not just for the victory, but for the soul of a rivalry that has now taken a dramatic turn. At the time, it was Pecco Bagnaia's first ever MotoGP win, earned against one of the most dominant riders of the modern era, Marc Marquez. Fast forward to 2025, and the story has flipped in ways no one could have predicted. The scenery is familiar, the names are the same, but the roles, rewritten. As we approach the 2025 Aragon Grand Prix, let's unpack the legacy of that fateful 2021 clash, where it all began for Pecco Bagnaia, and where perhaps it all started to unravel too. Pecco Bagnaia started the 2021 race from pole position, his first in MotoGP. Marc Marquez, returning from a long injury layoff, lined up in 5th. But within moments of the lights going out, Marquez had already leapt into 3rd at turn 1. Jack Miller, Pecco's teammate, tried to make an aggressive move on the inside, but Pecco's composure under pressure forced Miller wide. Marquez capitalised instantly, and then it began. 18 laps of escalating tension. The early laps were strategic. No wheel-to-wheel combat, just two masters, setting a blistering pace in the high 148s, breaking away from the field. Miller eventually fell off the back. What remained was pure concentration, discipline, and unrelenting pace. Until lap 16. That's when Marquez struck. Attack after attack, corner after corner, he threw the kitchen sink at Pecco. 5 times he lunged. 5 times he was rebuffed. Pecco's responses were precise, his lines unshakable. He wasn't just defending, he was asserting himself. At turn 12, with only a few corners to go, Marquez made a final desperate lunge. Left leg off the peg, rear squirming, speed unmanageable. He couldn't stop the bike, he ran wide. Pecco crossed the finish line 6/10 ahead and won his first ever MotoGP race. That day, Pecco was a man made of iron. And Marquez? He was something else. A ghost chasing shadows, the hologram of a legend trying to matter again. 4 years on, the names remain, but everything else has changed. Pecco Bagnaia is a 2-time world champion with 29 wins. And yet, in 2025, he's fragile. He has only 1 win this season. At Austin, and even that came with controversy. As he admitted recently, I don't feel the front wheel. And this is a big problem for my riding style. The front end of the GP25 Desmosedici has become his tormentor. The feedback is inconsistent. The trust is gone. Pecco watches his teammate, Alex Marquez, handle the 2024 Spec GP24 with comfort and control. And that only adds salt to the wound. In contrast, Marc Marquez, the very man he conquered in 2021, has become the force of 2025. He's not just back in form, he's leading the World Championship. Let that settle in. Marquez, after years of struggling with Honda's unrideable RC213V, made the leap to Ducati. And now, he's thriving in Pecco's old kingdom. What's most striking is how differently these two champions approach the same machine. Pecco's riding is built on precision, symmetry, and feel. Without feedback from the front end, he's lost. He said so himself. Marc can ride strong even if you revolutionize his bike, he does the same time. But I'm different. I need to be comfortable. And above all, I need to feel the front of the bike. Marquez, by contrast, rides chaos like a wave. Ducati's 2025 front end has baffled many. Twitchy, inconsistent, unstable in braking. But Marquez shrugs it off. When the front end betrays him, he blames himself. All crashes have an explanation. In 95% of the cases, it's rider error. He takes responsibility. Even when he pushes too far, he finds the limit through trial, not trust. Alessio Salucci, crew chief and close friend of Valentino Rossi, described Marquez's front-end setup as a pole. Hard, rigid, unforgiving. And yet, Marquez controls it like an artist sculpts stone. Pecco, by contrast, needs harmony. For him, the bike is not just a machine, it's an extension of self, a partner that must respond with empathy. Without that, his riding style collapses under its own expectations. This difference in mindset defines their 2025 campaigns. Pecco, having dominated the past 2 seasons, is now adrift. He's searching for answers Ducati can't or won't give. He confessed after Silverstone, "I have to adapt, but the strain is obvious." He's emotional, frustrated, and most of all, unsure. He said it best. Before any criticism, with athletes, you have to understand their way of being in the world. Marquez, on the other hand, is revitalized. The bike is imperfect. He knows that. He admits it. But he rides through the flaws. Crashes don't demoralize him. They instruct him. Ducati may not have built a perfect bike for 2025, but they've got the perfect rider to maximize it. At least right now. He's riding with urgency, energy, and a kind of reckless wisdom. And it shows. Now we return to Aragon, the place where this rivalry was first written in blood and tyre smoke. Only this time, the narrative is inverted. Pecco isn't the rising star anymore. He's the rider looking for redemption. This week, he said, "We start from here." But what he really means is, we start from there, from 2021. From that perfect afternoon when he held off Marquez and announced himself to the world. The problem is, time doesn't rewind. It only accelerates. And Marquez? He returns to Aragon not as the fading veteran, but as the championship leader. He comes not to reclaim something, but to establish something new. A new chapter with Ducati, on a bike that wasn't built for him, yet seems moulded by his will. The symbolism is poetic. In 2021, Marquez was the hologram, dazzling but weightless. Pecco was substance. Now, it's Marquez who brings gravity to the garage. And Pecco? He's chasing shadows, hoping to feel again what has slipped through his fingers. So what does this mean for the rest of the season? Technically, Ducati has a problem. The GP25's front end lacks consistency. It's punishing Pecco and challenging even Marquez. Davide Tardozzi has admitted that the engine is not identical to the 2024 bike, despite early claims. And that may lie at the heart of Pecco's struggle with braking and corner entry. In a field where millimeters define winners and losers, feel is everything. Pecco's own words highlight the crisis. "I don't feel the front wheel, and this is a big problem for my riding style." Without that sensation, he's hesitant in braking, offline in corner entry, and slower in acceleration. He's been forced to change his riding instinct, a tall order for any champion. Meanwhile, Marquez is adapting faster. He's not immune, he's crashed, and he's admitted it's not a perfect bike. But his willingness to ride on the edge of uncertainty is making the difference. As the second half of the season unfolds, Ducati will be under pressure. Can they provide Pecco with the tools or the tweaks to unlock his potential again? Or will Marquez continue to assert dominance, making a stronger case with every round that he's the top dog in red? There's a deeper current running beneath this rivalry, a philosophy of how to race, and by extension, how to live. Pecco seeks order, control, consistency. Marquez thrives in unpredictability, riding with reckless trust in his reflexes and talent. One marries at 27. The other says 32 is still too soon. One needs to feel the front wheel. The other will race with a breadstick if he has to. You race the way you live. And at Aragon, once again, we'll see whose way wins. The green light approaches, and so does the next chapter. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for new upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.